Alright guys, here we go. So this is your first video that you get throughout the year. This is for our first practice test for the business applications unit. The first question is all about business premises, and it's asking us to decide which shop is the best value. So the first thing that we know we've got to do is we've got to put this value here and this value here at the same time value. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to take this first one here, 1150. I'm going to times that by 12, so we get our annual value. All right, and that is going to give us 13,800. We know from the formula, we then divide it by the size of the shop. So that's 380 meters squared, which gives us a total of $36.32 per annum per meter squared. Not that bad value. Alright, and that's for shop A. Then shop B is 17,000. We don't have to do anything with that because it's already on that annual term, divided by the size of it, which is 510. Alright, and that will give us a value of $34.31 per annum per meter square. Alright, and then from that, because shop B is smaller, we go therefore shop B is better value. Okay. This next question here, what it's asking you to do is describe some things or point out some factors that may affect the decision. So because this is a hairdressing business, some things that they're going to need is they're going to need, multiple PowerPoints around the place. They're going to need quite a large shop space as well that's quite open. They're going to need access to water as well on the shop floor, not just out the back. So there's some things that may factor their decision. Also location too. Is it in an office space? Is it on, a set of shops on a street? Which one's more beneficial for a hairdressing business? Okay, this next question is all about the buying process. So we've got the dishwasher, which is 250. Manufacturers going to add 30% and GST before selling it directly to the retailer, who's going to add 25% plus GST. First thing we do is we work out what the retailer is selling it for, so 250. And sometimes my computer likes to do this, which is not enjoyable. It's working a bit slow today. Which is really frustrating. It's nearly working as quickly as Jack Tilley's new computer. So we've got 250 times by 1 point, the markup of 30%, so 1.3. That gives us $325. That's excluding GST. And then we know we need to add GST, just find out what they would have sold it to the retailer. So 325 times by 1.1, and that gives us $357.25. Sorry, and 50 cents. That's including. Now we know that this GST price is not what we add our markup to on the next step. We add it to the GST exclusive price. So it's 325 times by their markup of 25%, so 25. That's going to give us $406.25, excluding GST. Then we're going to add our GST, so it's this number, 406.25 times by 1.1, and then the final selling price to the retailer is $446.88. Alright, and we write that there. Price sold to consumer is $446.88. And that's how we do that one. How much GST is paid on the dishwasher? What we do to work this one out, it's really straightforward. We just get the total price of the end price, so 400. I'll just let my computer fritz out for a little second there. And of course. And now what we look to do is we divide 446. Make sure we have the pen on. Let the computer think for a little bit. 446.88 divided by 11. That gives us $40.63. Alright, so we say therefore GST paid is 40.63. Easy peasy. Alright, I'm going to scroll down now. We're going to look at the next question. This is all on depreciation. Alright, this table is a bit small, so I'm just going to quickly reduce how thick my pen is, because or else I won't be able to write in it. Alright, when we're looking at the straight line method, what we do is we divide the book value of 15,000 by the shelf life of 5. Alright, and that's going to give us what that annual depreciation is. And we know that 15 divided by 5 is 3, and we're working in thousands, so 1,000. 3,000. And you're just going to fill that in all the way down to the bottom, because it's the same each year. Alright, make sure you write in 3,000, don't draw that arrow like me. Just doing it to be quick. Alright, then the book value each year is going to go down by 3k, or 3,000. So 12,000, 9,000, 6,000, 3,000, and at the end it's going to be worth 0 after 5 years. Then the cumulative depreciation is just 3,000 for the first year. The second year it's going to be 3,000 plus 6, so 3,000 plus 3, and then it's just going to go up in increments of 3,000. And obviously at the end it's worthless. It's worth 50. The cumulative depreciation is 15,000. Alright, now where we're going to change is with this reducing balance method. This is where it's going to get a little bit tricky, and this is probably where you're going to spend most of your time in the test working on this one. Alright, so your first one in here, it is book value times by the percentage of depreciation. So for this one, it is 25%. Alright, and that will give us how much it's going to depreciate in that first year. 11,250. And our cumulative depreciation is how much total depreciation have we had. Alright, then we just do this again. So the book value is 11,250. We're going to times that by 0.25, which will give us $2,812.50. We take the annual depreciation of the book value from the previous year. That's going to give us $8,437.50. Then we add this number to our cumulative depreciation, and that will give us $6,562.50. Alright, and you just repeat that process of just going, okay, well, 8,437.5 times by 0.25. Alright, that'll give you the total. Alright, and you just follow that pattern. The next question is asking us to book the value against time for both methods on the same set of axes. So I saw some of you in the practice test were drawing on two different axes. You need to do it on one. So here, mind the raggedness of it. Obviously, that's freehand, but you need to clearly label one color as the straight line method and one colour as the reducing balance method. You need to make sure they're all evenly spaced out as well, because those are the things that markers in exams will pick on. So make sure we're doing that right here. Which depreciation method should the company choose if they only plan to keep the asset for 3 years? Explain your answer. So after 3 years, we can see that that green dot is just ever so slightly above 6,000 after 3 years. So therefore, the reducing balance method is better because they can sell it on at a higher price. The last question we have here is a profit and loss statement. And I know that these can take their time, but we have a process to them, and we're just going to work through that. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is work out the cost of goods sold. So I'm just going to abbreviate that to COGS. All right, cost of goods sold. We can work that one out. All right. So what we do first, we take our opening stock, which is 52,000. What we're going to do here, we're just going to cross that out as we go. We've written that out. All right. Then we're going to add our purchases. So in brackets here, I'm going to put open. Our purchases, 70,000. And then we take off our closing stock. Closing stock of 61,000. Alright, and then once we do that, so 52,000 plus 70,000 minus 61,000, that's going to give us our cost of goods sold, which is 61,000. Alright, just get rid of this rogue zero quickly. Alright, then the next step we've got to do, guys, is we've got to work out the gross profit. So gross, we'll write that here, if it will let me. And we know that our gross profit equals revenue minus cost of goods sold. And our revenue, if we scroll back up, if it will let us, our revenue is our sales. So that's 300,000, we'll put a line through that. So our revenue, as we know, is 300,000 minus our cost of goods sold, which is 61,000. And that's going to give us 239,000. That's our gross profit. Alright. And then what we're going to do, we're going to work out our net profit, which we know is our gross profit minus all of our expenses. Okay, so we're going to work out our total expenses here. I do apologise for how slow my computer is working today. It's really frustrating me too. Alright, so the first thing that we have as our expenses are our wages. If you have a look up the top, they are 65,000. Then the next one is our insurance. All right, that is 4,200. The next one that we have is our advertising, and that is 10,000. The next one that we have is that purchase of the new sound system. So we'll just write sound system. And that cost the store a whopping 18 grand. Hopefully it's worth it. Then the rent as well, that's another expense. Alright, that is 17,000. And then our electricity bill is 2,250. I'm going to add that up together, alright, to get our total expenses. So when we add that up, that gives us a total of our expenses at 116,450. Okay, then we're going to go up here just so we've got a bit more room. So our net profit is our gross, which is 239,000. Less our expenses, which is 116,450. And when you minus that, you get a gross profit of 122,550. Alright. And just make sure that you write next to it net equals. That's that. If you have any questions, come have a chat. Just so I know that you've watched this video, I'm just going to give a quick shout out to new up and coming channel. It is David Dobrik's channel. I think he's doing some pretty good things over there, so a little shout out to that guy. If you haven't checked him out, he's only a small channel now, but I'm sure he'll be on to bigger and better things soon. So thank you, have a good day.